And we are 1 week away from the busiest travel week of the year. Of course, that is Thanksgiving week. And we're going to continue to look at it for you on the feed as we get closer and closer. And there has been some clarity. Looks like we're going to be tracking 2 storms, one early, one late, perhaps a third as well. But certainly there's going to be some travel delays, especially across the central part of the country as we go through Thanksgiving week here. I want to give you an idea of what's going to go on here. I want a little headlines here, and we haven't changed anything in that we think overall it's a stormier pattern. And there does appear to us to be some snow from the upper Midwest, at least into the Dakotas. Now, is it a few inches of snow or is it a big snowstorm? Not sure yet, but there is the possibility of a sizable snowstorm as we get into Wednesday and Thanksgiving Day. I'll explain why. And overall, it is a chilly start in the Northeast on Thanksgiving week. Then it should turn warmer as the storm track stays off to the west. All right, let me show you the 2 storms that we're already tracking for you here. Now, one of them we could see, the other one not so much yet. And let me take you into the satellite. We'll put this full. And this storm, of course, we're tracking today. This will come into the Texas. It'll be gone by the time we get into the upcoming weekend. But we've got all of this energy back here south of the Aleutians. Now, this will be heading into California. And then we'll be tracking, this is the early week storm for Thanksgiving week, and then well off to the west. In fact, it's not on the map right now. I'll show you where that storm is that we're tracking for Thanksgiving Day, and that's the storm that has the possibility of causing some major problems for Thanksgiving Day here. So what I want to do is I'm going to show you the tools that I use, the modeling, and you can all get this on the Pro site, the AccuWeather Pro site here. You can use the same tools that I look at. Now, I keep it simple. I'm an old school forecaster. I always talk about the 500 millibar or the jet stream, and that's where I want to begin right now with the jet stream here. And let me go back to this map here. And as we go forward, watch what happens here. Now, this is Sunday. This is the storm right here that is up into the Aleutian Islands right now. That's our early week storm. This is the European model. This is the American model. And you'll notice pretty similar with the location across the Southwest here on Sunday morning. As we head to Monday evening, there it is right here. There's the European, here's the American model. Now, when you look at this right now, the one thing we're not going to have to worry about with this storm is a lot of snow, and here's why. Because right now it's what I call a split flow, a northern branch and the southern branch. The northern branch has all the cold air, and that's way up in here. That's up in here across Canada. So as this storm comes out, and there is pretty good agreement on where this goes on all modeling. You can see it as we get into Tuesday evening. There it is going across Texas on the European, same location on the American model. And then by Wednesday, it weakens as it goes across the central part of the United States. When I look at the surface map with that, here it is. You could see the greens showing you the rain, the blues where there's snow, and you can see that storm. There it is Tuesday, there it is Wednesday, and it kind of weakens. You see that? Across the central part of the United States. The American model showing the same thing Tuesday and the Wednesday. So early week travel, the East Coast is fine, but you're going to have problems across the Mid-South and Texas, some showers, thunderstorms. Wouldn't be shocked if maybe there was some severe weather in South Texas with this storm Tuesday into Wednesday. But then it gets a little dicier as we move forward. Let's go back to this. Because when I go to Tuesday, here's what's going on. You have our first system here, but then you have our next dip in the jet stream. I'll show you where that's coming from. So there it is. That's on the American model, right? Here's on the European model, Tuesday. See that? Pretty much the same. But as I go into Thursday, there's going to be a little bit of a difference here. European, American. European, American. Notice, the American model just moves it quickly across the area. There it is in the Northwest Tuesday. Watch it go right across the north central United States Wednesday into Thursday. Now, you're starting to get some cold air to bleed in here, so there'd be at least some snow across the upper Midwest, the Dakotas, and near the lakes. The European's a little different, though. It's a little different. You see what it does with it? It brings it along, but it has a southern piece of energy coming in this. You see that? The American model does not. The American model does not show that southern piece of energy. Let me show you. See, it just moves it wrong. So here's the American model right here. See, it doesn't have a southern piece of energy, so it moves it along. The European says, no, there's a southern piece of energy right here, right in here. Let me circle it to you, coming across California. So what that do is that develops a look at that upper low here. There's Friday morning European. There's the American has it up here south of James Bay, while the European, where does it have it? Well, a big snowstorm getting going across the southern plains. So when you look at the surface model for this, look at the difference. There it is. There's the European model Friday morning. This would turn into a blizzard across the Dakotas and Minnesota, probably north and west of Minneapolis. The American model says, no, it's way up here. There's some snow Wednesday into Thursday, but the big story is the cold. So what do I believe? I'm not sure yet. Let me show you why. Because when you track where this storm is, here it is as we get into Thanksgiving week. Let me show it to you. So here's the storm right here coming into the West Coast on Wednesday. Where is that storm now? When you go backwards, it's right here across China. We've got a long way to go. I want to leave you with this, though. I want to leave you with some maps here. This is what we're looking at. We haven't changed that. Anywhere in red, I think you have to worry about some delays on Thanksgiving week from California toward the Northeast. And I'll tell you what, it looks more and more like we're going to be looking at snow in the upper Midwest Wednesday and Thursday. And that's the feed.